When the biggest goaltender in the fantasy hockey game goes down with injury, there's an impact to your squad, and we're breaking it down on the latest edition of the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Podcast. And get this paper.
You're Locked On Fantasy Hockey, your daily podcast on fantasy hockey.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Saturday, my fantasy fanatics. Welcome back inside the lab to your daily 30-minute source for all things fantasy hockey. It is the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Podcast. I'm joined, as always, by my distinguished co-host, Mr. Steele Rodin. On this side of the microphone, it's your boy, Big Flip Livingstone, holding it down for the everydayers who continue to make us their first listen every single day. We are also part of the Locked On Sports Podcast Network, the #1 sports podcast network in North America. Today's episode is brought to you by our friends at FanDuel Sportsbook, where new customers to the app that put $5 down and win get $300 back in bonus bets. Steele, considering this is a juicy Saturday of NHL betting breakdowns, that's not even the biggest news of the day. Connor Hellebuyck goes down. We'll start there, however. Celebrini, Bedard, the red-hot Avs, lots to talk about. 4 to 6 weeks, though, it's Eric Comrie time in Winnipeg.
It really is. In the fantasy hockey herd, the fantasy hockey warriors have already taken to the waiver wire and picked up Eric Comrie. The storm has come, and it will continue to hit the waiver wire. He's already up 30% on Yahoo right now. He's up to 33%, and that number will continue to rise as the weeks go on. Connor Hellebuyck will miss 4 to 6 weeks after having minor knee surgery. So they have put him on rest, and they decided to make this move. Obviously, we've talked about how thin the goaltending market is right now, trying to, inquire about some trades potentially, trying to find some sort of value off the waiver wire. And this is the big one right here. When the #1 goaltender of the Winnipeg Jets, or a #1 goaltender in general, goes down for this extent of time period, you got to go back to who's replacing him for the time being, and that's Eric Comrie. He's been a reliable goaltender throughout his career, a reliable backup goaltender. It's not like he has numbers that really jump off the page and scream like this guy is going to be stellar during this time. He's just been consistent. He's been reliable. The thing for me is he hasn't played more than 20 games in a season before, and he's gonna most likely get up there during this time. He's already played 6 games this season. He has a below 900 save percentage. The thing is, this is still a very good defensive Winnipeg Jets team all around the ice, offensive, defensively, in the neutral zone. They are sound, tight, and this is a very good hockey team. So that's what is going in Eric Comrie's favor, is he's got the team in front of him. He's been reliable for the most part as a backup. Can he do it during this 4 to 6 week stretch? I think he can. Value is obviously there. Go pick him up if he's available in your league, and you need some help with goaltending. That would be my one concern, is just he's never played more than 20 games.
100% Steele. And I look at this twofold. Number one, Connor Hellebuyck has been a goaltender that is at the top of the league almost perennially in a few categories that lead to him being a guy that, if he is injured, and I know they're going to be careful with this, he has been at the top of the league with games played, shots on net, saves. That means he has seen a lot of rubber and he's played a ton of hockey. So I think you also, for a guy who has been healthy basically his whole career, I believe this is his first extended absence of his career. So he has been, that's one of the real positive assets to his game, fantasy-wise, is you've been able to hang a hat on this guy. However, it also means he's played a ton of hockey, and at some point, Steele, a goaltender, the knees are going to be an issue. It is just science. However, this isn't a science podcast. I'll throw this out there too. The Central Division is not one the Winnipeg Jets can afford to flounder in one iota. Take a look at this. The Colorado Avalanche, who we're going to talk about in a minute, 9-0-1 in their last 10. Minnesota Wild, 8-1-1 in their last 10. And the Dallas Stars, 7-2-1 in their last 10. So if you're talking about Eric Comrie right into the fire here, he is going to need to hold it down, because if they go even a couple of weeks of not playing good hockey, you can find yourself out of it in that Central Division real quick, and that will impact Eric Comrie's fantasy value. Let's see what this team can do with their number one man now on the bench or press box.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting, and we've already seen it happen with him in the cage already. A big loss to the Carolina Hurricanes, another really good, strong defensive and offensive team with good goaltending. They lose 4-3. Just a couple of days ago, yesterday. In a really good game, honestly. It was back and forth. A couple power play goals, shorthanded goals for each team, but. That's what Eric Comrie is getting thrown into. He's getting thrown into the fire. He's getting thrown into the deep end right now, but there is still a lot of fantasy value. Talking about this Central Division, do you want to get to the Colorado Avalanche and how successful they've been this season?
I do. I just wanted to throw this out there because I was alluding to the games played. 6 out of the last 9 seasons, Connor Hellebuyck has led the NHL in games played. And in 4 of those years, Steele, he was at the top of the table in shots faced and saves. So it really does hold true that he has seen a lot of rubber. However, the goaltending situation with Scott Wedgwood, I think, has to be discussed here, Steele, because this man and the Colorado Avalanche are putting up some impressive numbers. He's being considered perhaps as a dark horse for the 3rd goaltending slot on Team Canada at the Olympics. This is something we have to pay attention to. I don't know what your take is on this team. Scotty Wedgwood, 2.23 goals against, 5th best in the NHL, 6th best save percentage at .913. This team is a wagon, Steele, and no one was giving them the credit that they deserved headed into the season. Fantasy gold mine here.
Well, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I think I was. And I saw a lot of outlets or, different profiles online through social media talking about we weren't having that. They were talking about the Avalanche missing the playoffs. They were having the Avalanche outside the top 20 in teams in this season. No, we're not here for the slander. This is the Colorado Avalanche. I know going into the season, the narrative was they don't have a great depth core. They don't have a great bottom 6. It's like, dude, MacKinnon, Makar. Nobody was believing in Natchez. Are you kidding me? This guy's an absolute stud. On the back end, you got Devin Taves still. You got absolute 2 studs between the pipes in Blackwood and Wedgwood who have shown that they can be number ones for really any team they play for. They've just been that good, and that's why the Colorado Avalanche traded for them and blew up their tandem they had last year. So smart moves from the front office of the Colorado Avalanche. They're dominating the Central Division right now. I love the fact that the Minnesota Wild have really turned their season around. 8-1-1, like you said, a 4-game win streak. The Dallas Stars are there. They're 7-2-1 in their last 10 games. The Colorado Avalanche have only lost 1 game in regulation.
Yeah.
I mean, that is insane in itself.
Yes.
They have gone to overtime quite a bit. They've actually already hit the exact same amount of overtime losses as they had during the entire season last year. They already have 5. They had 5 last year. They already have 5 this year. It took them a lot sooner to get there. But this is a dangerous team. Yes. And I do believe that this could be a Western Conference final matchup between the Colorado Avalanche and Vegas Golden Knights. I actually do have the Vegas Golden Knights going to the Stanley Cup Finals, but with the way Colorado is playing right now, they are right there up there. It is any man's game between those 2 teams.
And you want a piece of this Colorado Avalanche team, however you can get it fantasy-wise. Colorado is top.
I'll get to on tomorrow's episode.
Thank you very much. Make sure you guys tap into Waiver Wire Sundays. We'll get you ready for the week. And all next week, we're here for you. However, Colorado Avalanche, top of the table, 84 goals scored this season. What's interesting, though, and talking about that fantasy value on the power play, 4 guys like MacKinnon, even down the lineup, a guy in like Brock Nelson, Lehkonen having pretty good years, obviously Natchez, is they haven't been able to get it done on the power play, Steele, which is really bizarre because they're scoring that many goals, 5-on-5. They are 23rd in the NHL in power play proficiency, 16%. If that starts to go, look out, and then you definitely want a piece, however you can, on this Colorado Avalanche club. Just so dangerous offensively. However, 2 of the most dangerous offensive young pieces in the game. Coming up after the break, we'll close out on the Avs, and then we'll get to a juicy Saturday betting board. I've got picks. We'll do a big parlay. And where you got to be checking out is our friends at Juiciest. Let's be real. Making excuses doesn't solve anything, and that's why today's episode is brought to you by our friends at Juiciest. We've heard them all before, boys. Just stress you're tired, or it happens to everyone. When it comes to performance, Juiciest comes in the clutch when your body needs that extra support. Rugiet.com offers fast-acting, doctor-prescribed treatments for ED designed to help you stop making excuses and start making moves. Rugiet makes it easy to get started. You just connect with a board-certified doctor 100% online. No awkward waiting rooms, no in-person appointments, right to your door. Visit rugiet.com/LockedOnNHL to get 15% off your first order. That is rugiet.com/LockedOn. And don't forget to use our code LockedOnNHL so they know we sent you. Rugiet, stop making excuses and start making moves.
And thank you so much for making the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Pod your first listen every single day. And thank you so much for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. It truly does mean the world to Flip and I and everybody here working for Locked On Podcast Network. We really do appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button, the follow button, leave a 5-star review. We will get to Celebrini and Bedard. Who would you rather between those two studs? But honestly, look at the top 5 in points this year. And what a great site this is. Nathan MacKinnon, #1, Connor McDavid, 2, Bedard and Celebrini tied for 3rd at 31 points. Just to wrap up this Colorado Avalanche segment and conversation, first of all, I just want to say in the top 10 right now, you have 3 Colorado players. Nathan MacKinnon obviously leading the league with 36 points.
Yep.
At the number 6 position is Martin Necas with 28 points in 20 games and Cale Makar, 28 points in 20 games. So this team has all-around studs. The goaltending's been great. What I really want to talk about real quick is Nathan MacKinnon the best hockey player? I think I've been saying that for the last couple of years now. And
Yes, you have.
wow, it feels really good. That's all I got to say. It feels really good.
Yep.
You know, obviously it was more of a hot take. It was on the spicier side than it was. But it feels good to be right. And I'm going to say I'm right here because he is the best fantasy player and he is the best hockey player in the National Hockey League.
Mac Daddy. And what comes with that title is the success of your team. And when he goes, they go. And I'm not trying to nitpick at Connor McDavid, but clearly that's not as good of a situation overall. And I know the Edmonton Oilers knocked on the door twice. Mac Daddy's got a ring. So, and look at what the team is doing right now. And I know it's early in the year, but hey, I hope your back doesn't hurt too much from all that padding you just gave yourself. However, you earned it.
Good,
and now let's talk about what's going on with Celebrini and Bedard if you're good. Because I know everyone's getting fired up for the Olympics, and that is exciting. And the fact that they're both now in the mix, in the conversation for that is awesome. But let's stick to the fantasy value. And I've got 2 takes for you here. In my opinion, who would you rather? I think this is probably the most splitting hair situation we've ever done with this segment. However, I'll make this argument. Macklin Celebrini, for me, is the better all-around two-way player who I expect in a couple of seasons to really start to establish himself in terms of peripheral category value. And you look at these guys' numbers, and it's a small sample size. They're very close, actually, in terms of peripherals. Little bit of an edge to Celebrini. I think this guy is such a smart player. IQ through the roof. A really good, responsible guy who plays a 200-foot game already, Steele. I see the peripheral value more long-term getting there with Macklin Celebrini a lot faster than Connor Bedard. But my goodness me, both of these guys tearing up the league. I'm going to go edge Celebrini, but let me hear what you have to say.
I was so hurt this morning when I saw your message to me on Instagram, and it was like, I'll take Celebrini. I was like, God damn it, that's who I wanted. But you can't go wrong with either player. And like you said, the stats this season are eerily similar. They are almost identical. Both players, 13 goals, 18 assists, a +4 for Celebrini, a +9 for Bedard, 12 penalty minutes for Celebrini, 22 for Bedard. Even on the power play in points, shooting percentage within 2% of each other. Hits and blocks, they have almost an identical game. 14 blocks, 13 hits for Celebrini, 11 blocks, 7 hits for Connor Bedard. I love the fact that Connor Bedard is shooting the puck a lot more, and that's what, again, I like to see when it comes to some of these younger fantasy pieces who are more of a playmaker. That's what I was speaking on when talking about Robert Thomas, guys who have that creativity, but still just have an underrated shot. And I'm not going to compare Robert Thomas's shot to Connor Bedard because they're not the same. They're not even close. Connor Bedard's ability to change angles in a split second, no matter where he is on the ice, is one of the very it's not talked about enough. It needs to be addressed more often. His ability to shoot that puck and change the angles while still in the same position,
Good point.
but where he finishes with his hands, it's one of the hardest skill sets to have, and he makes it look so easy out there. And he can do it from either side of the ice when he's on the power play, when he's on 5-on-5, shorthanded if he gets those opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
He's an absolute stud. And I do agree with you that I think Macklin Celebrini might have the more well-rounded game when it comes to defensively. Again, just 200-foot game. Connor Bedard, though, it's hard not to take him in this position as well, just how he's playing this year. You're seeing a new level from him.
Most definitely.
It's really good to see the benefit of the team around him and his line mates. Again, especially me, and I know you felt this way at times too, but the cast that he had surrounding him, we didn't believe it was going to be enough to really produce any sort of consistent value for Bedard plus his teammates. But now that Teravainen, Bertuzzi, Frank Nazar, Levshunov is getting some action on the back end, Spencer Knight is holding it down in the blue paint. There's a lot of stability there now, and that seeps confidence for the entire group. It seeps confidence for Connor Bedard. And he's just an absolute stud. I actually have him on a few different of my fantasy teams this year. I was a little bit hesitant to take him as high as I did, but I felt, you know what? This is still going to be, in my mind, a generational talent, and the skill set is beyond there, and he's showing that right now. So I love Connor Bedard, Macklin Celebrini, top 5 in the league in points already at the ages that they are, under 20 years old. It's absolutely insane.
I think the other angle that I do really like fantasy-wise for the San Jose Sharks, and, if I'm talking about the keeper dynasty side of things, who I'm liking more, I give edge Celebrini as well because, look, Bertuzzi's playing out of his mind right now. Teravainen's having a resurgence. Time. Those are guys that even next year, I don't know if I'm buying into it. What I am buying into is the San Jose Sharks core. Eklund, Will Smith, even in the cage, you're seeing Askarov start to prove himself. Sam Dickinson, Michael Misa. These are all really top-tier prospects that could produce long-term value here for San Jose. And I know they got Nazar, Levshunov, Rinzel. They've got some good young guys on Chicago coming up too. Spencer Knight's still relatively young. I'm going to just make the argument and say I'll take the Sharks' future now and down the line a little bit more fantasy-wise. So there is some real good upside coming here for this San Jose Sharks team. And what's also weird, Steele, we're talking about how eerily similar the stat line is for these two players. Eerily similar how these two teams have succeeded so far this year based off of the production from their two young stars. 24 points for the Blackhawks, 23 for the San Jose Sharks. They're very close in goal differential as well. Really good start for these two kids. Tap into the fantasy value with them and around them, and let's tap into big-time bets right after the break.
And where you can place those bets, it is FanDuel. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you miss the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. And once again, thank you so much for making the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Pod your first listen every single day. Continue to smash that subscribe button, the follow button. Leave a 5-star review for your boys here, Flip, Livingstone, and Steele Rodin. We got 12 games on the schedule for Saturday. We're going to run through all of them. Big-time bets, money line picks, whatever you're feeling, Flip. Let me get this on the board here.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
FanDuel is where you need to be placing these bets.
Yes, sir.
And I don't know about you, like we're going to go match by match, but just to give you a little bit of a tease, I am feeling a lot of these underdog matchups here.
Okay.
So there might be a big bet here when it comes to the odds and, a big juicy odd at the end of this. But let's start here with the first game of the day, the Columbus Blue Jackets and Detroit Red Wings.
This is a really tough game to open up the board with, Steele. And to
It
be
is.
honest, I could kind of take an argument for either side. The Detroit Red Wings, from what I've seen from this offense, has really impressed me. And I know the Columbus Blue Jackets kind of hang their hat on that offensive style of play as well. The Detroit Red Wings are 4-5-1 in their last 10. However, at home this season, 7-4-1. I'm going to lean Wings at home. I could see the over here pretty easily, though.
This one was a toss-up for me. It was 50-50. I've already made 2 separate parlays with one of these in each. So it could go either way, but I like the Red Wings at home. The offense has been really good. This one could go either way, though, but we'll take the Red Wings at home as they have a really good record there. Blues and Islanders. This one's easy for me. The Islanders have been playing some really good hockey.
Yep.
The Blues obviously just haven't been cohesive. The chemistry just hasn't. It's lacked this year. Islanders are 7-2-1 in their last 10 games. However, they're actually 4-3-1 at home, so that they haven't played great in their own building. But the Blues they're just not great this year.
The Blues have 1 win in their last 7 road games and 1 win in their last 6 games overall. Let's go Isles at home.
Oilers, Panthers. Honestly, I'm feeling the Oilers in this setup.
Too.
I like them at plus 114. The Panthers, as good as I want to say they've been good, but I mean, like, they've been inconsistent all year long. I know they're 6-3-1 in their last 10 games. They're on a 2-game winning streak right now, but I don't fully believe in them without Barkov and Tkachuk in the lineup. So I could see the Oilers coming out here. They had a really good game against Tampa Bay, which went to overtime with Tampa Bay scoring to tie it up late in the third period. So I like the Oilers with the plus money here.
I think this is a spot that I would probably, if not for the sake of this parlay, stay away. However, I'll say this. 5-1 embarrassing loss to the Sabres. They get pumped by Washington 7-4, and then you lose in gutless overtime fashion 2-1 to Tampa Steel. This might be the situation where if they don't win here, this might be one of those Oilers reel off 6 or 7, 8 in a row. That's how it feels to me. So I think you got to go Edmonton. I would also say this, probably my favorite prop pick of this whole board. McDavid is going to be shot out of a cannon today. 2+ points from McDavid. The Panthers have been playing some bad defensive hockey. So I'll throw out McDavid on a prop tease as well. I like Oilers for the juice, though.
Oilers for the juice. I like it. I also honestly like the Leafs for the juice in this spot here.
Done.
Yeah, I mean, the Canadiens
9-1-0 in their last 10 against Montreal.
Yeah, and the Montreal Canadiens have slipped. They're 3-4-3 in their last 10 games. I know it hasn't been any better for the Maple Leafs, and the Leafs are actually 1-5-0 on the road. But honestly, since losing Alex Newhook and Kirby Dach, the team has kind of slipped a little bit. The goaltending from both Montembeault and Dovish hasn't been great the last couple of games. I like the Leafs for the juice here as well on the road. Tampa Bay Lightning Capitals. I really like Tampa Bay in this setting as well. I actually got them early, and they were at plus 100, so that helped the odds jump up a little bit.
Yep.
Kraken and Penguins. What are you feeling here? This is a back-to-back for the Penguins as well.
And the Penguins just came off the European trip. This one reeks to me. Like, if we were to re-go and look at this, not make a pick from every single game, I'm saying we stay away from this one with a 10-foot pole. You also know how I feel about the Seattle Kraken in general. I think this is a Fugazi-type situation. However, they're 5-3-2 in their last 10 games, and I would lean Kraken, although this one, Steele, might be the biggest coin flip of them all, in my opinion. I'll take the Kraken here, though.
It could be. They do have Murashov in the net. Shilov's got ran out last night against the Minnesota Wild. So, hey, those bets for us hit on Friday. Yep. Senators, Sharks. I love the Sharks at home at plus 134. I mean, they've almost been the underdog in every single game. But again, the way Macklin, Celebrini, and some of these other guys, especially Askarov and Nedeljkovic, have been really good in the paint. I like the plus money against the Senators here, who are continuing this 7-game road trip.
Askarov has looked sensational in his last couple of starts. Let's ride with the juice at home dog. Why not? I like it.
I like Devils here on the Flyers. What are you feeling?
I think this is a spot for the New Jersey Devils with the freak accident that Jack Hughes has, that transpired over the last couple of weeks. They've dropped 2 in a row. just like I was alluding to, I could feel a prolonged slide here if they don't win for the Oilers. I could feel this spot for the New Jersey Devils as well. I would lean to the Devils for sure. 6-6 away from home this season.
Taking the Devils on the money line. Avs, Preds, got to take Avs on the money line
Hard.
here. I mean, this team is
Hard.
just so good, and the Preds are so bad.
I like the Rangers too.
I like the Rangers on the money line here too. The Utah Mammoth, again, I still believe this could be a playoff team, but they're 2-5-3 in their last 10 games. They are on a dreadful skid right now. I like the juice here. Rangers on the money line plus 104. Stars, Flames. I think it's easy to go with the Stars in this situation.
Have to.
Again, hopefully you get some better defensive play and some better goaltending from Jake Ottinger. Golden Knights and Ducks. This one could be interesting. I will go with the Vegas Golden Knights, though.
I agree with you. The Golden Knights are a team that will be at the top of that Pacific Division or Central Division. Sorry, or man, I'm butchering this Pacific Division at the end of the season. 26 points on the year. I did not think they'd be battling it out with the Anaheim Ducks at this point in the season. Love that you're getting a pretty good odd here at minus 142 for the Knights as well, Steele. Let's go Knights on the road. 4-3-3 in their last 10, but 2 back-to-back wins.
So here is the 12-game bet slip, all money lines. Detroit Red Wings, New York Islanders, Oilers, Maple Leafs, Lightning, Kraken, Sharks, Devils, Avalanche, Rangers, Stars, and Golden Knights. The 12-leg parlay comes out to a total of plus 208,010. You throw a $10 bill on that parlay right there. You're looking at close, just under 21K. So
easy.
This is the easy money here. We are feeding you locks right now. A 12-game money line parlay. Absolutely love it. But honestly, if we were to go through it and to go through just some of our favorite picks, if I were to give 4 of my favorite money line picks,
now you're talking.
It's probably the last 4 games of the day. I would probably go with the Avalanche, Rangers, Stars, and Golden Knights on the money line for my 4 favorite picks here.
Yeah, and I do honestly plus 122 for the Maple Leafs. I'm feeling that one as well, Steele. So those are all really kind of pumped up odds that you could probably get a good price on just doing those. Rangers plus money on the road as well is juicy. So I like these spots for sure. I totally agree with you. You know what? I'm going to do this. 4 picks, Leafs, Avs, Stars, Knights. Those are 4 road teams, but just those 4, that is plus 937. So there's some good options out there on today's board. We're already getting degenerate, and it's still early in the day.
Already 3 different parlays on the docket here in FanDuel. Absolutely appreciate it. Thank you so much for making the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Podcast your first listen every single day. Continue to smash that subscribe button, the follow button, leave a 5-star review, and we will see you back here Sunday for another waiver wire targets for Week 8 matchups.
Peace.